Fios is not cable. We're wired differently, which means you can get the fastest internet available with equal upload and download speeds from 50 to 500 megs. So you can upload 200 photos before your favorite song is finished. Click the ad and switch to Fios today to get our best offer ever.
Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to the Beautiful Butterfly Show, where everyday topics and everyday people come together. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the Beautiful Butterfly Show with your host, Bianca Fly. And welcome, everyone, to the Beautiful Butterfly Show. I'm your host, Bianca Fly. I want to say happy Wednesday to you guys. You guys know it's officially hump day. You're almost there. You're almost through the week. You got to keep grinding and keep pushing to make things happen, you guys. I'm excited, guys. This evening we got a special guest and a new guest joining us this evening, you guys. We got Stalina Goodwin. She is an inspirational speaker, author, mentor, and perseverance strategist. And I wanted to talk to her today because she had an amazing book out, you guys. It's entitled The 5-Step Guide to Kissing Low Self-Esteem Goodbye. And as many of us know that throughout life we have those moments where we're unsure. We're unsure about, how we look and how we feel about ourselves. And so tonight she's going to share with us 2 of those steps. We're going to discuss tonight on how to just, kiss those low self-esteem issues goodbye and how to learn the art of loving who you are. So if you're out there and anytime you got a question or a comment, feel free to call in. The number is 516-418-5974. And all you have to do is press the number 1 and make sure you share the show. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that great stuff. Let everybody know that Stalina is in the building over here with Bianca Fly on the Beautiful Butterfly Show. So I'm not going to delay any longer. I'm going to bring the lady of the hour on here. Stalina, you there?
I'm here.
Welcome to the Beautiful Butterfly Show. How are you?
I am great. I'm so excited to be on the Beautiful Butterfly Show.
Absolutely. We are definitely glad to have you, and I've definitely been looking forward to discussing this phenomenal book. But before we get into it, tell the folks a little bit about who you are. I said a little bit about, but tell us, who is Stalina Goodwin?
Oh, okay. All right. So Stalina Goodwin is 100%. I am just like every single woman out there. One of the things that I have learned along this journey is that sometimes along the way you forget who you are. And you need to know the steps on how to find yourself or how to remember, right? So what I've done is I have literally begun to build my life's work around not only helping myself remember who I am, but helping other women remember who they are. So Uncover the Beautiful is an organization that I founded, and what it is a, what's the best way to put it? I coach women on how to love themselves. Because, you know, everyone tells us, and I'm sure you've heard it, Bianca, you know, everyone will tell you in a heartbeat, love yourself. Girl, you need to love you. But no one tells you how. You know, so a lot of us are out here floating without any information or any strategies on how to move forward. So I also call myself a perseverance strategist. And basically what that is, if you were to ask me for my help, Bianca, what I would do, we would take a look at the things that you're dealing with. We pick one particular area, and we will put together a strategy for you to persevere in that area.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. And, you know, and one of the things I like about this book is, and what you were saying is that oftentimes, as you mentioned, we see the many books and we see the quotes out here on, you know, how to get your happy bag, but nobody's saying, hey, this is where you start at. You know, this is where it begins. And so some people need that step-by-step process of discovering, you know, how they get back to their true and their authentic self. And so, of course, and I'm not going to discuss all the stuff because we definitely want people to go out and purchase the book. But one of the first step, the main step, of course, is self-awareness. But before we get in that, tell people what is your definition of just basic, good, healthy self-esteem. What is self-esteem?
Well, self-esteem is essentially the way that you think about yourself, right? So healthy self-esteem is when I see me and I see myself positively, right? You know, we have a very unfortunate viewing of ourselves a lot of the time because, as I say in the book, we have a front row seat to our own mistakes. So often what we do is we beat ourselves up not knowing. And sometimes, you know, people deal with low self-esteem and don't even know it, you know.
Absolutely.
So what self-esteem is, because it's how you think of yourself, when you have high self-esteem, you don't verbally berate yourself. When you have high self-esteem, you don't have to tear anyone else down, right? High self-esteem is when you can see yourself and understand that you have worth, and that you are good enough, and that you deserve to have the good things in life. Oftentimes, low self-esteem, you know, we think of it as the girl who has her head down and she looks at the ground when she walks, and, you know, but other times it is the woman who is 100% fly, her hair is done, her nails are done, her shoes are on point, but she looks at the next woman and has to beat her down because on the inside, she's not as beautiful as she wants us all to believe, or rather, she doesn't believe she's as beautiful as she wants us all to believe. So, you know, self-esteem, again, I can't say it enough because a lot of times we don't understand what those things mean. It is the basic idea that you have of yourself.
Absolutely. And I think that's the thing that we get things misconstrued because we look at people and they may, you know, their faces beat, you know, the hair is together, the outfits and the whole nine, and everybody assumes, you know, oh, wow, that woman is walking in confidence, when a lot of times, as you mentioned, you know, there's some internal issues going on there, you know, and so a lot of times some people actually overcompensate on the outside to cover what's going on in the inside. You know,
that's one of the
I had some girls. And I had girlfriends in school who would do the same. You know, they would dress a certain way, and people would think that they, you know, were these type of individuals, and they had a lot of issues. You know, just a lot of issues going on within them. But you know, to put on that public facade for people, you know, they made sure that they stayed looking a certain way. So pretty much, people would focus on your outer appearance and not really care so much about what's actually going on with you, sadly. You know, that's the thing about it. And so And, of course, as I mentioned, in step one, you talk about self-awareness. So let's talk about this. What is self-awareness, and how do we obtain this if we feel like we don't have this?
Okay, absolutely. Well, self-awareness is the basic understanding that you have of yourself, knowing who you are. So I think a lot of times we hear you need to know who you are, you need to find yourself, but in a term that could be coined and understood the best, it's just simply self-awareness. And what we have to do in order to get to a place where we love ourselves, we have to know ourselves. What's worth loving about me? And if you don't know who you are, you won't be able to get to that point, right? And when you begin to attempt to become self-aware, it can be a little daunting because the questions initially sound dumb, and I'm saying that as someone who had to ask those questions to myself. I remember going, why do I have to ask myself? I know my favorite color. This is stupid. But one of the things that we have to remember is that some of us are walking around with a very false idea of who we are.
Right.
We believe that we are this or we are that, but in all actuality, we are simply living out in the shadow of the things that have happened to us, right? So you have to be able to dig beyond your experiences to get to who you are. Let me give you an example. In my book, Dear Beautiful, 31 Days of Affirmations for Women, there's a day called Examine Your Mirror. And what I talk about is for the reader to imagine the clearest mirror they'd ever seen, right? And then mark that mirror up with lipstick messages and smudge it all up, right? Now look at yourself through all of that lipstick smudge. A lot of us believe that seeing ourselves through the lipstick smudge is the actual self that we are. Does that make sense, Bianca?
Absolutely.
So once we are able to become self-aware, that is the wiping down of that mirror to clearly see ourselves.
Absolutely.
So what we do is, you got to start asking yourself the big questions. You start with seemingly simple. What's my favorite color? What do I like? What makes me happy? Which is, not really an easy question to answer. Then you have to go to the bigger things. What are my goals and what are my aspirations? And what we find a lot of times is that some of us don't have big goals or aspirations because we don't think that either we're good enough to be able to execute them or that we deserve to have the things that we desire.
Absolutely. And one of the things you also discuss in here is how does low self-esteem show up. And I love these because you talk about the perpetual victim. And I think many of us have either been this or know a person or two or three who fits the description of this. And it says, this person is always waiting for someone to rescue them. They come across as always being helpless, like they can never handle what's happening in their lives. This person is always having a pity party or pretending to be numb so they don't have to be held accountable for making changes in their lives. They are always asking for advice that they don't take quite normally. They lack assertiveness. They don't complete their goals or even create any, and they can be a burden in a relationship because of their heavy reliance on the other party. Man, this one rang a bell to me, Stalina, because I know so many people, especially now with social media. Social media is the biggest platform, is one of the biggest platforms, I believe, of cries of help, pity parties, you name it. It goes on.
Very true.
And so you have people who are just like, I'm just going through and I have a bad day, and then you may hit them in their inbox or whatever. Well, I'm fine. Or I listen, I listen to what you're saying. And the next day they're back on the pity party train. So, we know so many people that you can sit up here and like drain yourself to death of giving them advice, but they're not going. They're not going to take it. Yeah. And so what made you put this in the book, which I think is great because a lot of people don't realize, hey, maybe I am acting like a perpetual victim here.
Well, I had a lot of experience with a lot of different people who fit this particular description, and I won't even lie.
Yeah.
There have been times in my life where I fit parts of this description as well. I wanted to make sure that any woman reading this book understood that it's okay. We all, have those moments when we are the friend that drains. We all have that one friend who will call you up crying. Do you know what he did? Okay, you think I should leave, right? I should leave. Okay, I'm going to leave. Then they call you the next day and go, girl, we made it up. It's okay. It's fine. And it's like those women have to be represented as well. And one of the things that happens is that we get annoyed with our friends so quickly without truly understanding where they're coming from. And I wanted to make sure that woman that I used to be, that friend that I currently have, that they're represented as well, because we got to know what it is and know what the problem is. One thing that's important too, and it's so funny, to write this book and then to actually see it play out in front of me.
Right.
It's crazy. I had, there's a part in there where I say that low self-esteem makes you a target. And I was witnessing a friend of mine, and she's venting to me, and I'm not that friend who'll go, yes, girl, you are right, he is wrong. I'm the one that'll be honest and give you the truth. The real. And I'm listening to her talk, and she's saying, and he says this to me, and he says that to me, and I couldn't believe that he said that, and I'm so upset. And it made me go, and it makes me think about that line in there where I say that it shows up where your partner will speak to you all types of crazy because you don't demand that they treat you with respect. And the unfortunate thing is, for anyone listening, this is so key. You have to know that people know when you have low self-esteem. There are folks that can hide it to the high heavens, but there are certain. It's like these people can smell it on you. These predators, people who are out here lurking to exploit you and to take advantage of you. They are looking specifically for you. They're looking for you because there are parts of you that are broken. They are looking for you because they feel as though they can easily manipulate you. And wherever you are, whoever you are, just know that you are worth so much more. Don't let him talk to you crazy because you're worth more. Don't accept or settle for less because you deserve more. Low self-esteem is not a terminal illness, baby. We can kick that out the door.
Absolutely agree. Because, the thing about it, it reminds me of that, especially, I think, like my freshman year in college. I was the shy girl. I was the reserved girl. I just kind of stayed to myself. And so it makes sense when you talked about being a target, because I remember, guys, strategically, they would come up after class, especially athletes. Hey, how you doing? It's all this kind of little talk, and then it turns into like, so can you help me write this paper? It's like, they would show like, okay, some interest, like, hey, where you from? And, having all this conversation. Then it shows into like, okay, this is what I really want from you. Or it plays on a factor of, if you're around your girlfriends and you have guys who think, okay, well, her friends aren't that easy to give in, but with her, she don't have nobody, or, look at the way she looks, and so I'm going to go, after that person. But I think that comes to the moment where we have to realize, our worth as a person, our worth as a woman, in an individual, because I think a lot of times we feel like, oh, this particular person is interested in me, and I need to, give all of myself in order for them to stay interested. Well, if that's how it's supposed to be, then you're not supposed to be connected with them in the first place, And so
true.
I think, and I think a lot of times we try to overcompensate, and we think, hey, if I have this moment with this person, is going to put me, higher on this chart, this chart of people wanting me. But we don't realize the damage that it does emotionally, and mentally to us.
That's very, very true. So real. as women, we have to get ourselves to a place where we can be honest with us, you know,
Right.
and we have to take responsibility. I talk about that in a book that I have coming up in a couple of weeks called Free and Fabulous, Uncovering Your Undeniable Beauty. You know, you can't think to love yourself. You can't move on in any direction of forward. That sounded crazy. Any direction of forward. You can't move on in any direction, really, unless you are willing to be held accountable for the parts that are your fault. And when
Absolutely.
I say that, what that means is we got to take responsibility for not being the best person that we can be for us. You know, I can't blame anyone else for my low self-esteem. Although you are able to pinpoint it to certain, you know, things that have happened in your childhood, in your life, different experiences. But at this point in my life, there's a choice that I have, right? I can either decide to fight my way out of this, or I can decide to stay here. And that's a decision that you make. When you allow someone to treat you with less than you deserve, that's a decision that you're making. You understand what I mean? So we have to take responsibility for the decision that we've made that puts us in positions in our lives that don't always afford us the best opportunities on the internal side.
Right. Absolutely. 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 And one of the great things about, I think, when you get to the point of, you know, getting over the self-esteem issues is that you begin to value yourself more as a person, you know, so you know exactly what you want, you know what to expect, you know, you know what to expect from people, and you'll be able to know how to handle those issues when they come your way. I think a lot of times that we do stuff because at the moment we're feeling vulnerable. You know, we're going through those moments of weakness and so forth, and so we're just giving in to things. And so do you believe when it comes to social media, especially where we are now, do you believe social media has actually become, you know, that crutch, so to speak, of why people are actually dealing with low self-esteem? You know, we got Twitter and we got Instagram and we got all these different avenues of seeing what people identify, quote unquote, you know, as real beauty, as sexy, as this and that. Do you think social media has kind of, you know, increased people's low self-esteem?
Well, I think that that could be true, definitely true in a sense. I think that with social media, you know, you are really scrutinized, and you have people who can steal your image and make fun of you, put you in a meme and a heartbeat, and now you're being circulated as a joke. Right? So no, I'm sure that takes a huge toll on anyone's self-esteem, because I know it would do that to mine. However, what we have to remember is that it is our job to define what beauty is. You know, unfortunately, you know, before social media, we still had high numbers of women with low self-esteem, and a lot of that is because of the way that our media portrays beauty to be. And you know, what we have to do, and I'll say it again, we have to redefine what that beauty standard is. You know, we have to take it and turn it on its head, because if we sit and we wait for those who aren't truly for us to tell us that we're good enough or that we're beautiful enough or that, you know, our particular brand of beauty is okay. You know, we wait for them to give us the pat on the head that lets us know that we're all right, when the truth is that's validation that I have to get from myself. So with social media, you know, you'll find a platform for people now this is one thing I have found, people who have low self-esteem have found a new way to gain their own personal validation.
True.
I see it all the time with men and women. You know, you're looking, you're like, oh, okay, and that's a thirst trap, got it, okay. All right. You're looking for attention, okay, got it. Okay, you know, there's this one girl, I don't know her name offhand, but I think Dr. Phil had her on her show. She's from my area. I think she's from around here in Maryland somewhere. And she uses social media. She says the most crazy things, and she uses that to get the attention that she desires, whether it's good or bad. They just want the attention. And what it does, from where I can see, that it validates her. That's all she wants. She just wants someone to pay some attention to her, and it makes her feel good about her. So social media has given a lot of women and men with low self-esteem a platform to be validated, but in the same breath, it has given a place for a higher level of low self-esteem cases to take place. How dare you take someone's picture and then circulate it, just be like the model who snapshotted the naked woman in the bathroom and tried to shame her, even if it's just to a friend, to shame her because because her body doesn't look like the model's body. You know what I mean? Like there are all these different avenues for people to bully and attack others for not fitting. And it all goes back to our society's archetype of beauty. That's not fair.
Right.
I get long-winded. Does that answer your question?
No, it definitely does, and it happens. It definitely does, and I think especially, and we see it, especially, and the thing about it is what's interesting to me is that, although I've seen it in women for years, but I'm noticing it more in males as well. The low self-esteem issue, because you have men who come on and sometimes, they're taking you have some men now who take more selfies than women, and they're seeking that validation from people. And then if you were to talk to them outside of social media, you would discover that they have their own personal things that they're dealing with. And I think it is sad that so many people have depended upon social media to give you that boost. I don't want to have to depend on anything like that to give me that boost and to, say, hey, Bianca, this is who you are, or hey, Stalina, you're great today because you got 100 likes, on your picture or whatever. And so I think that we have to get back to just truly being accepting of what we are. Now, my thing is that, if you're at a position and now we're coming upon the holidays and the New Year's getting ready to start, so everybody's going to be trying to join the gym. They're going to be trying to get slim and trim and all these things. And, and that plays a factor on people. And I believe that you can develop your self-esteem, when you learn the process of, taking better care of yourself and loving who you are. I think you have to love who you are. Like, you have to find that process, and I did as well. I had to discover, like, okay, this is who I am, but I'm going to work towards my goal of what I want to be, in the gym and all of those great things. And so I think you have to just firstly be totally accepting of what you have all together at first, and then you can work towards, your ultimate goal. But I think if you're unhappy, the process is just going to take you even longer, so.
But you're absolutely right, and it's one of those that, and you use a perfect example. Like, this is an area where I struggle, and so when I say I'm just like every other person, I'm just like every other person. We're out here literally fighting for our lives, and that may sound a little drastic, but it's the truth. We are women who are simply attempting to live in a world that was designed and set up to remind us daily that we're not good enough. So when you live in a society like that, you have to fight your way through it. And I say that a lot in the book, fight, 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 fight. Your inner warrior is real, because we ain't no punks out here. Kicking low self-esteem out the door is not an easy task. It takes, a lot of strength. And one of the areas where I fight is with taking the best care of myself, and it was one of those moments, and I came to the conclusion about a year ago. And sometimes it takes a while for your mind and body to kind of sync up. I'm there now, but, a year ago it occurred to me, like, Stalina, if you love yourself, if you do the things that you're worth, then why aren't you taking better care of yourself?
Right.
And I had to stop, and I was like, That's a good question. Let me go eat this pack of cookies and I'll come back and talk to you later. You know, but I had to really take responsibility for the fact that I cannot stand in front of any woman and tell her to love herself and treat herself with the absolute best if I'm not doing the same thing. So it made me realize, okay, Stalina, so this is an area where you're still dealing with some stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're still dealing with some things, and one of the things that is so important to remember is that self-love is an ongoing process. You never wake up and just go, yep, I'm good. Because you have to implement the daily habit of positive thinking, the daily habit of making the good choice, the best choice for yourself. So, you know, it's definitely a big area for all of us to remember that if we love ourselves, we got to treat ourselves with the absolute best. So if you're listening out there, you are not alone. Stalina Goodwin is fighting with you.
Absolutely. And one more thing that I did want to discuss, you talk about adjusting your circle. And I believe that this one is a powerful one because a lot of times, we see it. I see people all the time who have friends that they associate with, and everybody's pretty much the same. Like, they're different people, but their mentality is exactly the same. So if I'm having a pity party and then you get the pity party bug and then somebody, we just a group of pity parters, And so the thing about it is that sometimes you have to step outside of that and seek people who are positive and say, hey, you know what, girl? I see you trying to lose weight and go to the gym. I'm going to go with you. Not somebody who say, hey, girl, just go ahead and eat this cobbler, Just go ahead and eat that pie. It's all right, And it might be okay every day if you try to have a cheat day or whatnot. But explain to folks out there the importance of adjusting your circle.
So real. It's the most important. If you were on a ship, right, and you need to make sure that ship goes exactly where it's supposed to go. Mm-hmm. So you look to your crewmate. You go, okay, so what we about to do? And they look at you like, I don't know. Then you go to the other one. Okay, so what do we do? Let me check. I don't know. And you go to every single person, and you're like, okay, so we just gonna be sitting in the water? It's crazy, right? And when you put it in practical terms like that, you just like. None of us know anything about powering a ship or getting it to sail, but we're all on this boat together. So how can you help me? One of the things that's so important, and I say it in the book and I heard it a long time ago, you have to limit your time with people who have your problem and increase your time with people who have your solution. Because, we find ourselves trying to be better, but you can't be better if you're still in the same place that you were in. Fabulous happens outside of your comfort zone, and you got to make sure that you have the right kind of people around you. And it ties in heavily with your self-esteem. I'll give you a prime example. I have these moments where, who's going to want to listen to me? I can't write no books. I'm a terrible mentor. I don't know what I'm doing, right? And I just feel nuts. So if I didn't have the right people around me, that could go very left, right? Because we all, and I said it before, we all have those moments where we forget who we are. We get overwhelmed, and we begin to doubt our abilities to do. You understand what I mean?
Right.
I had a girlfriend. I call her Goose. I said this to her, and she was like, but no, because this is who you are, and this is what you do, and this is what you bring to the table. And it shook me up and snapped me back to the reality that is the wonderfully great woman that I am. You understand what I mean? You got to have those people around you who see the beauty in you, because when people who see beauty in you, right, are who you surround yourself with, then you'll find it very difficult to try to down you. You can't do that in their presence. Because they won't let you. They'll look at you like you're crazy. What are you nuts?
That's right.
And if they're really your friends, they'll tell you to shut up and get yourself together. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So
absolutely.
adjusting your circle is like I had a reader. She sent a question in, and she was basically saying she got a promotion, and she told her friends, and two of her friends were very, very happy for her, and the other two kind of shaded her and implied that she got the promotion because her boss wanted to sleep with her, right? And her question was, this is the part that surprised me the most. Her question was, was I being too braggy? Maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
Wow.
And, I was like, no, boo, you just need two new friends. Like, because at the end of the day, and I call them lame Janes. There's a fine line, and every woman is a queen, but sometimes women be on their lame Jane stick, and you have to know the difference. And
that's right.
What a lame Jane is someone who doesn't want to see you win. She can't be happy for you. She sees you moving up, and wishes she had your success, so she can't celebrate with you. Because she is unable to know who she is, she wants to get down on you for who you are. So that's what a lame Jane is. You know what I mean? And it's like you gotta prune the lame Jane out your circle because you can't grow. They're like weeds, man. They choke the life out, and it's unfair to any queen who is attempting to live her best life to have a circle of people who don't offer the best content and advice. And it's kind of like, right now, even as it pains me to say, President Trump, President Trump is choosing his cabinet, right? And your cabinet are the people who immediately circle you. They're who you go to for your information. If you don't have the right people around you, you can make the wrong decisions.
That's right.
So,
absolutely.
That was it. Adjusting your circle is so important. You have to value yourself enough to vet the people that attempt to come into your life. And everybody's not your friend. And everybody's not your best friend. And everybody's not your sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do this thing
Absolutely.
as women.
Absolutely.
Where, because women are in competition so much and so often, we forget, that it's okay. We don't have to be 100% linked up for me not to be in competition for you. I can still want to see you win, but don't put you in my inner circle. You understand what I mean? Everybody's tribe is not for you.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, girl. Adjust that circle. Cut them people out.
Absolutely. I'm telling you guys, you are going to want to purchase this book. Stalina, tell the folks out there where they can go about purchasing this book and how they can go about connecting with you as well on social media.
Absolutely. I can be found on Instagram and Twitter. Lord, I always say it wrong. At Brown Girl Writing. That's BROWNGIRLWRITIN. And on Facebook, I'm simply Stalina Goodwin. You can purchase Hello Beautiful, Dear Beautiful, or the 40-Day Guide, Unapologetically Beautiful, on Amazon. All will be available in Kindle format, and soon all will be available in paperback.
Awesome. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed having you on the show, and I'm going to have to get you to come back on again because this was definitely just absolutely phenomenal, and I'm glad that you wrote this book. I think this is what we need, and this is what people need to apply in their lives, and I know you have several other books as well. You got another one that's going to be releasing pretty soon, correct?
I do. Free and Fabulous, Uncovering Your Undeniable Beauty is coming out. Originally, it would have been Unapologetically Beautiful, but I decided to make that a private workbook for a class that I want to do. So stay tuned because, we are out here getting women to snatch their identities back.
Absolutely. Love it. And I definitely want to thank you so much for coming on here. I've truly enjoyed this dialogue, and I know the people out here are as well. And just keep doing what you're doing. It's great to have people, show things that they have been through themselves and ways that they have learned to overcome things and to help and inspire and encourage people. And as you said, letting people know that they're not alone, because a lot of people truly feel alone, when they're going through things. So it's always good to know that, somebody else is going through and that person can possibly help you through what you're going through as well. So I definitely appreciate you coming on here this evening.
I appreciate you for having me. I truly have enjoyed myself. I hope that I didn't talk your ear off too much.
I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and you're definitely welcome to come back here anytime. I'll definitely be putting your links up so that folks can go and purchase those books and connect with you and so forth. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening. You got any final words you want to say to the folks out there?
I think the biggest thing for me is, just to let anyone who's listening know, you are absolutely 100% beautiful, worthy, lovable, and amazing. There is another you in existence. So love that you. And if you're not sure how to do that, hit me up, boo, because I'm coming to help you.
I love it. Thank you so much, Stalina, for being my guest this evening, and I'll be getting in touch with you soon about coming back through, because I know the folks will definitely love to hear more from you. And I hope you have a great rest of your evening and rest of your week.
Same to you, and thank you again. I've really enjoyed myself.
You're welcome, and I'll be talking with you again soon.
Can't wait.
All right, bye-bye.
All
right, you guys. That was Stalina Goodwin. Make sure you go and check out her mini books that she has. But the 5-step guide to kissing low self-esteem. Goodbye. I'm going to be putting the link on the Beautiful Butterfly Show page, you guys. I'm telling you, you're going to want to read this. Get you a ladies' circle, or you can do a mixture of ladies and men. Get you a circle and have a workshop and talk about this book. Invite Stalina to be your guest. I'm pretty sure that she would love that. And it's going to be phenomenal, you guys. You're going to get a lot of great insight from this book. So with that said, folks, we're going to get ready to get out of here, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. I am Bianca Fly, and I'll see you next time.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike,
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your moves.
Fios is not cable. We're wired differently, which means you can get the fastest internet available with equal upload and download speeds from 50 to 500 megs. So you can upload 200 photos before your favorite song is finished. Click the ad and switch to Fios today to get our best offer ever.